want to know about an opportunity in order to determine, is it something that's right for your company? So first and foremost, we find that management of companies often rely on their salespeople to be solution sales agents for them, and they really don't know how. And even worse than that is management, they don't know how to coach them. Sales enablement and solution selling is something that's developed over time. It's not something that is done in a weekend training session, in a seminar. It's something that over time is developed and learned. And so we feel that it's important to support management in being able to support their salespeople in ensuring that the time that they're spending on opportunities are good for the company and good for the salespeople. So we call this a mastermind process. It's a mastermind session. You don't need to be a marketing maven. You don't need an MBA. All you need to understand are what are the basic precepts involved in solution selling. We've all, and I have a background of 25 years of print sales and owning printing companies. We used to always look with just the print buyer. But in solution selling, implicit in the name, is a requirement of providing an improvement, an enhancement in what they're doing that's different than what they're doing today. And that often requires and interacts with other departments, influencers, decision makers, whether it now be a marketing manager or a product manager or a VP of sales who it interacts with, or a channel manager. So our sessions that we've designed and that I'm going to show you some basic information about, these are meant really to raise sales effectiveness, to help you identify must-win opportunities, and most important, wouldn't it be nice as a business owner or a sales manager to be able to predict at a much higher rate the amount of business that you will get on the opportunities that you're pursuing. So a mastermind session is not an interrogation, so it's not about making someone wrong, and it's not an archaeological dig. What it is are three basic categories that must be addressed in order to guarantee that you're positioned to get a job. The first one is, in order to do a solution sell, you have to know what you're solving. So from our standpoint, very often a salesperson will come back with an RFI or a quote and go, wow, I'm doing a great job, we just got to fill this out and give it back to the company. The way that we look at first is, what's the business challenge? And as you can see, they typically revolve around 3 or 4 basic things. Increasing market share, lowering operating costs, reducing revenue goals and return on investment. There might be an event. There's always a reason that a program is being created. And first and foremost is understanding, why are they doing it? What's their goal? What have they done in the past? What are we being benchmarked against? Because bottom line, I can't give you a solution if I don't know the problem and something to benchmark against. So first and foremost, always ask, what are they trying to accomplish in spending this money, whether it be on brochures? Is it for a trade show? If it's for a trade show, the next question then becomes, all right, if it's for a trade show to generate leads, what do they do with the leads that they get? So the point is, always go to the end result of the business challenge and work yourself backwards into understanding now how you can provide your value contribution. Again, it's one thing to fill out an RFI, right? And here's our information about us, and here's how we do business, and here's the equipment, etc. But there's such a huge disconnect, such a gap between what we do and how we can help you, how we can distinguish ourselves to help improve what you're doing. The fact of the matter is, today, a valuable supplier, everybody is. You wouldn't be in business today if you didn't give good price, if you didn't give good quality, and you still gave good service. That is parity. That's the price of admission. The distinction of where value is being paid for is in the category of being an invaluable supplier. Someone that helps to improve the way your customer markets. If it's an ad agency, how you could help them land some additional business by providing a solution, you know, around the things that you do well. So it's critical to understand what your value contribution is. A quick example of one is in our software. We're a software manufacturer of marketing automation, all for the purpose of sales empowerment and efficiency. And we have a customer that has a sales force that they wanted to enable to do what's called non-personal promotion. The ability for their detail people to go out and when they can't see a doctor, to create promotions for them. In sitting with them and understanding the nature of their business, the time that they have, the methodology of the tablets that they use to communicate with doctors, we were able to contour our capability and specific aspects of what we do to enhance what the agency wanted to give to the pharmaceutical company. That put us in a position of making the agency different from their competitors. So the point is, how do we contour what you do to the strength and focus on what your customers need in a way that you distinguish yourself from your competitors? Key is if you don't have your value contributions, you're just a competitor on a commodity job based on price. This is probably the most overlooked aspect of any solution sale, the political landscape. What happens if the guy that you've been selling to, the print buyer, who brought you in on this opportunity, and it's a decision that's really being made by marketing or in a committee outside of the print buyer, but yet you're dealing just with the print buyer? Who are the influencers? Who's the economic buyer? Who are interested parties? And probably the most important, who's an anti-sponsor? Is there someone in an organization that doesn't want to work with you? So as an example, we just worked with a big agency in New York. And one of my challenges was to make sure, A, the agency has partner agencies within their organization that can do similar things to us. So in meeting with the agency, I met with the account people, I met with the IT director, the print person who brought me in, who I know for years. But key is, I looked at the IT person, and who is he? He's someone that can't make the decision to go with MMI solution, but he's certainly a guy that can say, don't go with it. So even though I found out the economic decision buyer was indeed the account supervisor, I need to make sure that he's on my team. So this is just an example of the extraordinary importance of understanding the political landscape, because very often you will lose a job and you won't know why. Very often, this is the reason. So in coaching your salespeople to be very focused in understanding business objective, what your value proposition is, and most importantly, what's the political landscape. So here are some red flags. So on the other side, so now I told you how to be perfect, but now let me tell you the different things involved in the red flags that occur and how you should be thinking about them. You need to have a coach in a solution sales opportunity. There needs to be someone that's on your side, that's supporting you. Again, otherwise, you need to just realize this is a commodity-based opportunity. Let's put our price in and we'll see what happens. You need a coach. You also need to have a meeting with, you need to know, you need to be as closely involved with the economic decision maker. And there's always only one. I don't care if I'm presenting in a room of 12 people and this is a committee, I guarantee you every time in that meeting, when a decision needs to be made or I ask a question, all 11 people turn to one person to see what their reaction is. That's the decision maker, that's the economic buyer. And anytime you have someone in your office or even yourself You think that, well, there's 3 economic buyers, red flag. That's red flag. Next, query your salesperson. Do they understand what the key economic drivers are, what the metrics are, the things that you can benchmark against? I cannot come in and sell you a system on improving your ROI for your reseller programs and lead generation if I don't understand the basic metrics I have to improve against. So there has to be benchmarks that you're working towards. So a couple more red flags. Very often salespeople, when you ask, well, when's the job going to be coming in? They go, oh, yeah, it should be coming in the next few weeks. Next month, next week. Very often they're telling you what they hope, and not necessarily what the reality is. So you want to make sure that you're very clear on exactly when that's going to happen. Next thing, have they qualified the different influencers there? Are they anti-sponsors on our side? How do you help to support them to be on your side? Also changes in momentum. Job was supposed to happen 3 weeks ago. What's going on? So bottom line, at the end of this session, and again, whether it be with yourself or whether it be with a salesperson, the things that need to come out of this meeting are 4 or 5 very important components. Define your business case, or what they call the raison d'etre, your reason to exist. Deal with the red flags. Qualify a buying influence, and make sure that you have a reason for your customer to buy from you to move forward. You do those things, you will begin to see 2 things happen. One, you'll have a much better handle on the opportunities that you're selling. Second, you'll be able to begin to see how to position yourself so you can get yourself behind the curtain and be a valued partner with your customer instead of just the vendor. The 2 are a winning combination. They're a big-time winning combination because you're supporting someone who's in the trenches and may not have really the perspective to understand an opportunity without having someone asking the critical questions that are important to ask. About our company, MMI Solutions is about empowering and supporting sales forces to be more efficient, knowledgeable, and understanding how to sell and be effective in today's marketplace. The way that people purchase today is different than it was 3, 5, 7 years ago. For me, B2B sales today, a business buyer is nothing more than a consumer at work. And so many of the social skills and things that we've learned at home have now infiltrated the way that people purchase, using the internet for pre-sale decisions, going on webinars, a variety of different ways that people are buying and doing research before they call a salesperson like they used to years ago. So our system, we've developed a software called the MMI Edge, and the function of this software is with marketing automation to be able to reach out to large groups of prospects, be able to, with relevant content, be able to see how they interact with that content and information. We score the relative value of that, push that information to salespeople, and then help them with the knowledge that they know about a prospect to run what we call express campaigns, which are multi-touch, drip campaigns to stay in touch, build credibility in longer sales cycles than salespeople typically have to manage an account. As a matter of fact, over 80% of leads that are warm or hot generated from any marketing automation system never get sold by that salesperson, because the real opportunity is outside a 90-day window that they have the ability to manage. Remember, as salespeople, they're managing the commissions this month, it might be this quarter, but very rarely further out than that. So our system addresses what we think is the biggest inefficiency in the marketplace today. Once the lead is passed to the salesperson, empowering them with the ability to market more effectively over time.